It's my understanding that we are to have a public hearing tonight. At this time, we will open the public hearing to receive comments regarding the proposed ordinance wording changes. And I would ask if anyone that wishes to address this board, please state your name and you may come up to the podium. Yes, sir.
My name is Melvin, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. I've been a licensed amateur radio operator for more than 35 years. And I'm requesting that language be added to the cell phone tower ordinance for a reasonable accommodation of towers for the use of licensed radio operators. In researching county ordinance, I found 4 that address radio and television towers specifically. Number 1 is the Mountain Ridge Protection Ordinance. Item 501.10, tall buildings or structures states that water, radio, telephone, or television towers are not included in the 40-foot height restriction. Number 2, the moratorium on the construction of cell phone towers dated March 5, 2001, under exceptions, Part D. The moratorium shall not apply to the construction of structures intended solely for the non-commercial individual use, such as residential television antennas, satellite dishes, or ham radio towers. Number 3, the cell phone tower ordinance dated August 20, 2001, Article 6, Part A. Facilities requiring a permit include any residential tower greater than 40 feet or any commercial tower greater than 40 feet. Number 4, Property Rights Protection Ordinance dated May 15, 2006. Attachment A, Part 3, maximum height of a building under duplex multifamily, but no mention of single family. 40-foot maximum height with a footnote: chimneys, water, fire, radio, and television towers, and there's a list of several others, may be erected above the height limits herein established. 3 of the 4 ordinances appear to accommodate private, non-commercial use of towers greater than 40 feet. The documents that I submitted to you earlier, I hope you have a copy, refer to Attachment 1, requirements by the FCC for local governments to reasonably accommodate amateur radio towers at heights sufficient to accommodate amateur service communications. Attachment 2, the requirement by the State Assembly to accommodate amateur radio towers at 90 feet or lower. Attachment 3 was an example of a surrounding county's tower ordinance pertaining to amateur radio towers. I realize that ordinances are not perfect and may at times overlook some citizens' requirements. The population of licensed amateur radio operators in the county is small, with a few over 50 that's listed in the databases. About 15 of these have been licensed in the past 2 years, and more will be studied for and taking the exams in the future. I respectfully request that amateur radio towers be exempt from the cell phone tower permitting process by defining non-permitted use of a maximum height restriction of 85 feet and a permitted height restriction between 85 feet up to 120 feet. I can answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions of Mr. Collins? Okay, well, so, Mr. Collins, right now, if I understand it, do we in this county, and I may need some help on this, do we have restrictions over 90 feet for ham radio?
Well, three of the ordinances permit towers over 40 feet.
Over
The
40.
one does not.
The one does not. And you're asking us to look at this?
To look at this and make an exception for non-commercial, private amateur, licensed amateur radio operation use. And I'm willing to work with the planning board on the exact wording, considering the health and safety and aesthetics of this.
Well, it's certainly a board decision. Personally, I think that would be a good idea to maybe spend some time with the planning board and start it with those folks and kind of get it where you want it. Is that acceptable to this board? Or, I'm taking that, so yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So we can do that and just refer it to the planning board, is that correct?
You can on that issue.
On that particular issue?
They need to do it after the public hearing.
At this point, you're still in the middle of a public hearing though, so.
I understand that part.
Second.
This is a separate issue from what we're looking at tonight, but it's part of your concern about the height and everything.
That is correct.
Which
Okay.
we don't currently address in our tower ordinance
Right.
for this type of tower.
Any other questions, Mr. Tom?
Thank you for your attention, and I'd like to recognize the ham radio operators in the audience, if you'll raise your hand.
I understand there's more and more, and isn't there a class going right now? Is that correct?
Is there a class going on, Terry?
Yeah, there's doing a directed self-study, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Melvin.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak on the, with our public hearing?
Yes, sir.
You may come up, sir. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Good, thanks. And your name, sir?
My name is Dave Caudill. I'm a ham radio operator, been one since I was 16. I'm now 74 almost. But I'm in Surrey County Amateur Radio Emergency Service. And just one thing we have, I've been asked to put a repeater up here for when we have a problem, like if somebody gets lost, people with HTs cannot get back to the people they need to. They're down in the holler somewhere, especially down around Basin Cove and areas like that. So the hams provide a vital service to the community, and we're tied in with the Sheriff's Department and other Red Cross, other agencies, and we need to be able to put up decent towers. We don't get paid for this, but Hurricane Katrina kind of gave you an example of what happened. When Hurricane Katrina came through there, the first thing that happened, all of the infrastructure for the police departments and all the parishes down there were down. And ham radio operators were riding along with the policemen in their cars providing vital communications because they didn't have any way of getting back to the police department. And so we're not asking for any special consideration, but we provide a service. And by the way, federal law allows us to go 200 feet, but we don't need that normally, but it'd be nice to be able to be exempt because this is really more about cell phone towers than it is ham radio operators. So that's my 2 cents, as the line says.
Yeah. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else that would like to speak on this particular issue? Yes, sir.
My name's Paul Reeves, appreciate you all the time. What I see going on in the county is AT&T is trying to monopolize the county. That's my way of looking at it. And judging from, I have rented towers, I have bought sites for towers, I've done that for years. So I know a little bit about the tower business. But I hate to see one company come in and just take over and not allow other companies to rent off of them. Now, the tower that I have on Justin Mountain, Sky Best is up there, and US Cellular. And there'll probably be another one up there before long with it. So, we're getting these towers out here, and we're gonna be, just be careful and let's put the towers a little bit higher. If you put a three-legged tower at a high elevation, you're not gonna have near as many towers, and they don't show up as bad as the big round towers do. You can judge that because I drive up on 93 to Elk Creek Church and look at one at Twin Oaks and look at one on top of the mountain with it. But this tower thing is getting to be a very, very big thing. If we let one company in here and they don't agree to rent part of their tower to other companies, I think we're making a mistake. And you look at prices are probably, I think they started off about $600 a month or $100,000 for 20 years. Then I've heard I'm being up to 800 to 1,000 now. So there's nothing running uniform, it's just running every how they can rent and do. But I think y'all ought to give a more consideration to what's going on in this tower business than what we've been told or led to believe so far. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wishing to speak on this subject? If not, I will declare the public meeting closed, the public hearing rather, excuse me. And